Hey everyone, I'm Rick and thanks for joining me. Today we'll be looking at a couple of turntable accessories from Stack Audio. I'd like to thank Stack Audio for supporting the channel by loaning me their review samples. If you'd like to support this channel as well, please consider hitting the subscribe button and giving the video a like. Stack Audio is probably best known for their isolation feat, although they do produce other products to fine-tune your audio. Today we have their newest line called Serene, which currently consists of the Serene Matte and the Serene Stabiliser. Let's take a closer look. First, we'll look at the Serene Matte. The Serene Matte has a 295.4mm diameter, 3mm height, and 7.5mm spindle hole. The material is a proprietary silicone formulation that has a super unique feel to it. It feels slightly firmer than neoprene, but not as firm as natural rubber. The second I removed it out of its packaging and had it in my hands, it just felt different than anything I felt. As for the product description, Stack Audio says, the Serene Matte offers a unique, deformable design featuring precisely tuned sprung pads that absorb micro vibrations before they can reach the record. I have no idea what that means. It kind of reminds me of those old mattress commercials where they want to convince you that a coil is not a spring. I can only assume that a sprung pad means a spring without tension, deformable, maybe non-compliant. But back to the description. Serving as a serene foundation for your records, it enhances the overall listening experience by revealing hidden layers of music that might otherwise remain unnoticed. Backed by detailed measurements, the matte significantly improves clarity and depth, uncovering nuances in your vinyl for a richer, more immersive sound. I understood all that. Back to their description, the matte consists of finely tuned sprung pads, each with a raised nib that centers the record's weight onto the spring. This focused weight activates the spring, allowing them to absorb micro vibrations that conventional mattes cannot. So next, let's take a look at the Serene Stabiliser. The Serene Stabiliser measures 77mm in diameter, 25mm in height, and weighs approximately 95 grams. Stack Audio does state that this is to reduce stress on the motor and bearings of your turntable. The product description: the Serene Record Stabilizer fits over the turntable spindle and rests on the label, designed to absorb vibrations from multiple sources, including the stylus, acoustic feedback, and other ambient noises. Taking a closer look at the Serene Stabilizer, the outer shell feels to me like all aluminum. On the bottom side, we see the silicone membrane. In the center, another probably aluminum part where your turntable spindle goes, and giving it a little shake, I can hear something inside. And these are tiny rubber-like particles that, in conjunction with the silicone membrane, absorb the vibrations. Before receiving the review sample, I imagined it would have been more like a record weight, filled with their proprietary tungsten blend, which they use in their isolation feat, and take advantage of something called particle impact dampening. So I was surprised when I opened up the stabilizer package and noticed that the inside was hollow and filled with other particles. So I reached out to Stack Audio and asked them what was going on. And they shared with me that the Serene Stabilizer went through a long research and development process and was initially a metal puck with a metal underside surface filled with their alpha particles. And here they learned that the micro vibrations of the turntable platter weren't strong enough to fully stimulate those particles. So back to the drawing board. Then Theo, Stack Audio's designer and director, came up with the design that we have here. And they call it Tension Activated Particle Absorption, TAPA. The bottom rubber membrane under tension acts like a little trampoline, and it allows the particles inside to move freely and dissipate that microvibration energy. When I place the Serene Stabilizer on my spindle, you can see how it slowly conforms into place. On to listening. I tested the Stack Audio Serene Matte and Stabilizer as a set, and against my current matte and record weight. The matte might not be for every turntable. If your turntable doesn't have vertical tracking angle adjustment, you'll be adding 3mm of height to your platter. If the matte that came included with your turntable is already 3mm, then switching it over to the Serene will work out just fine. In my case, my turntable is a Cambridge Audio Alva ST, and it doesn't have VTA adjustment. And the rubber mat that came with my turntable is 5mm thick. But I also have the Doak Audio brass 2mm platter that increases the total height to 7mm. So I replaced the original 5mm Cambridge Audio mat with a 3mm mat that I got off of Amazon. This put me back at the original position. And now, since the Serene Matte is 3mm, it works out perfectly with my Cambridge Audio setup. And if any of you own the Alva ST as well, I highly recommend the 2mm brass mat from Doak Audio. As for the Serene Stabilizer, the spindle insert is 14mm. And Stack Audio says that should cover a broad range of turntables. However, if your turntable spindle is on the longer side, I would suggest you email Stack Audio to see if the Serene Stabilizer is compatible with your turntable. I'll have a companion video posted with a sound demo comparing the Stack Audio Serene set to my regular mat and record weight. Look for that video later and remember to wear headphones while you listen. So how did the Serene set sound? In my system, with a Cambridge Audio Alva ST turntable, Ortofon 2M black cartridge, Doak Audio brass platter, using the Alva ST's built-in phono preamp, over to my modified Jungsan JA1 preamp with Burson V7 op amps, over to my Iota VX PA3 power amp, and onto my custom Joseph Crow speakers. Within 5 seconds of Chris Stapleton's Cold, I could hear the difference. There was a type of improved clarity that I usually get when I upgrade a DAC to the next price point. The vocals had an increased sharpness around the edges. The extra detail was crystal clear. Everything opened up spatially. The soundstage width and depth expanded. And as for the bass, I couldn't tell you if it was a deeper bass, but I will say it was more controlled and defined. Just more accurate. I think on the sound demo, you should be able to pick up on the increased clarity and the tighter bass. As for the soundstage though, when I played back that sound demo in my headphones, I didn't get that expansive soundstage as I did live in my room. So unfortunately my recording doesn't do the soundstage justice. It's much more impressive in room. I'll see if I can find a test tone LP in the future to see if that bass really does go deeper. But if it does, to my ear, I couldn't hear it. But again, it definitely does tighten up. So I have to say that my experience with the Stack Audio Serene set is that they definitely deliver on their promise. Now the Serene mat does come in at around $75 and the stabilizer at around $200. So out the door shipped, you're probably looking at around $300 investment. So I wouldn't say it's for everybody. But if you have your turntable already fine-tuned and invested in a nice cartridge or nice accessories, or if you already own a turntable over $1,000, then I'd say that the Serene set here should definitely be on your upgrade path, and I'd highly recommend. Again, to me, the differences were not subtle, and I'd say worth the price. And that's all I have for you on this one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.